Hi everyone, FPL Matt Day here, and it's the international break. So what better thing to do than have a look at some wildcard options for our fantasy Premier League teams ready for next week's game week, which is game week 9. I'm going to start with goalkeepers on this video. It's going to be a quick video just going through my top 3 goalkeepers. If you're on a wildcard, I think you need to have at least one of these as your number 1 keeper. I'm going to go through goalkeepers ranging from the 5 million, just over 5 million range, to the 4.7 million range. So that's going to be the cheapest goalkeeper. It's going to be no 5.5 million or above keepers on this one. So I guess you could say it's probably the lower end to the sort of mid range of goalkeepers for this video. And I'm going to go with, as I mentioned before, my top 3. So just before I start, if you are new to these streams, give the video a like, give the video a comment, and the channel subscribe. That would be absolutely awesome. And you can find me in all of my socials at FPL Matt Day on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So come and join in. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments. You can DM me. I do plenty of threads on Twitter as well. But this one is for wildcarders who want to know who to put in goal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off. I'm going to share the screen. And I'm going to go through my top 3 choices, starting with my third choice. I don't think there's going to be too many surprises in these picks. I think a lot of managers probably got their eyes on some of these goalkeepers. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to bring up my first choice here. As you can see, I'm on the Fantasy Premier League website. Obviously got a big list of top goalkeepers on there, but only 3 on this video. So let's get up the first one here. Jose Sarr from Wolves. Obviously absolutely brilliant in last season's FPL. One of the top goal scoring goalkeepers, plenty of saves for Wolves, obviously signed for them last season. He's continued that form this year. He's currently the 2nd highest scoring goalkeeper of the season so far. He's 5 million. He's 5.5% owned, so he's very low owned. So every time you get points out of this keeper, you're gonna really get the edge in your mini leagues or in your overall rank. He's got 35 points in total. So like I mentioned before, he's the 2nd highest point scoring keeper so far in a Wolves team that's only won a game this season, which is phenomenal, really. You've got a goalkeeper so high up in a team that's not winning games. So it does show you do not always need the Edersons or the Allisons, the Hugo Llorises, the Mendy's, the goalkeepers from the sort of top 4 sides that do tend to win most weeks. Let's quickly go through before I go into a couple of facts and stats. Let's quickly just go into the fixtures for Wolves. So as you can see, West Ham away next, Chelsea away. So it is a couple of tough, away fixtures if you're getting him from, game week 9. But then after that, you've got the likes of Nottingham Forest home, Palace home, Leicester home, Brentford away, Brighton and Hove Albion at home. These are all games against teams that don't score huge amounts of goals. They're quite low scoring sides. This could be really good for Jose Sarr owners. They've only conceded 7 goals as well, Wolves, so far. So if you have a look at their history of the games that they've played as well, 7 goals conceded, and they have played Man City, they have played Spurs, they've played Leeds, they've played Newcastle United. So they've had some tough games and still kept it pretty tight at the back overall, especially when you consider 3 of those goals were in one game against Manchester City as well. And it is a Wolves team. They play on the counter-attack. They like to play a low block style. So that's Jose Sarr. He's my 3rd pick, 35 points total so far. I think he goes into number 3 because he was very good last season for Wolves. He's proven, he's shown how good he can be as a fancy Premier League keeper. And I think for 5 million, might seem a little bit overpriced to some, considering it's in a team that isn't performing that well this season. But like I mentioned, he's just gets the save points, doesn't concede huge amounts of goals in that Wolves defence. And this season so far, he's got 3 bonus to date. He's got 1 penalty saved, 21 saves in total. So he's got 2.6 points per game for save points, which isn't quite enough to get you that extra save point. But I do think this Wolves team will remain tight. They will remain playing that counter-attacking low block style, which means if you invest in him now, you will probably have to keep him as a season keeper. And I think he will stay in the sort of top 3 or 4 goalkeepers as the season goes on. So Jose Sarr is my number 3 pick on my top 3 goalkeepers on a wildcard. So let's move on to number 2. So number 2 is currently a Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. And I don't think this is going to be too many surprises when I go through some of his stats so far. But it's Dean Henderson. As you can see, there's his history so far. Let's quickly go to his fixtures first of all. 3 green fixtures in the next 3 matches, which I'm not really sure if any fixture is a green for Nottingham Forest based on their current Premier League status, newly promoted team in the bottom 3. They've got Leicester away, they've got Villa at home, Wolves away. I guess similar to Jose Sarr, there's a couple of teams in there, maybe not so much Leicester, who, even though they're not winning games, they do still score goals. Villa and Wolves, you can see those games being low scoring. Even the Wolves game, you can sort of see a 0-0 in that type of fixture. And then if you go outside of that, even the tougher games, Liverpool and Arsenal back to back, you can imagine plenty of save points for Dean Henderson. And he's looking pretty good overall. 4.7 million, so he's cheaper than Jose Sarr. He's gone up 0.2 already this season. He did start at 4.5. We saw how good he was as a season keeper when he was at Sheffield United a couple of years ago. He's 13.7% owned. So again, pretty low ownership. 1 clean sheet in 8 games, which doesn't sound great, but he's still on 31 points, which is phenomenal. He's still the 3rd top scoring keeper with only 1 clean sheet, which is incredible, really. So it does show you the importance of save points in this game. He's currently had 28 saves, which is 3.5 saves per game. So for every 3 saves in FPL, you get an extra point. So he's getting an extra point every match. So if he's to do that, combine that with a clean sheet, you're going to get a double-digit score there. As you can see on his history, we've already got double-digit score there against West Ham, 14 points. You've got 9 points at home to Spurs. If Spurs didn't get that late goal, that would have been another double-digit haul for Dean Henderson. He's had 2 pens saved this season, which is huge. He's got a 20% penalty saving record in the Premier League. So that's 1 penalty save from every 5. 17 goals conceded, and he's the 3rd top scoring keeper. That's absolutely phenomenal. Really big value pick for me. 5 bonus points overall as well. So I think, if you are looking more on the budget end, you need a little bit more sort of money saving value. You can save yourself a bit more money. So 0.3 you can save if you go Henderson over Jose Sarr. And then I'm about to bring up my next goalkeeper, who comes in at 5.2 million. So if you go Henderson over my number 1 keeper pick, you'll save 0.5. And you might even get some big penalty saves as the season goes on. And we all know with penalty saves, it attracts bonus points, even if you do end up conceding 2 or 3 goals in that game, as it showed in the Spurs fixture when he come out with a couple of bonus points and a penalty save from Harry Kane, who's obviously got a great penalty record. So that's my second pick. Let's go in to my first and final pick in your wildcard goalkeepers. Number 1 pick, and it is that man who's top of the charts already. It's Nick Pope. Here he is. Have a look at that. He's conceded 7 goals, so the same as Wolves, the same as Jose Sarr. So again, very tight defence. 3 of those goals were in 1 game against Man City as well. Same as Wolves. So I guess, that stat is kind of is bloated a little bit. It's, if he hadn't played Man City, he'd have less goals conceded, probably have even more points, and would be even better value than what he already is. He's 5.2 mil, 18.1% owned. Looks to be this season's version of, Ramsdale from last year, who started at 5 million and ended up being an absolutely brilliant pick in that Arsenal team. He's had 3 clean sheets in 8 games, 2 double-digit scores, 6 bonus points, and his save points per game is 3.75, which is phenomenal. So at the moment, he is getting you that extra save every single match. He's attracting bonus points when he does keep clean sheets because he's making so many saves, which then gives you the double-digit hauls. Absolutely brilliant. And let's not forget, in the 1920 season for Burnley, and this is Burnley, a team that finished 17th, he come out with 170 points that season, which was the highest scoring goalkeeper of that year. He's on track to just absolutely smash that this season. Phenomenal stuff from Nick Pope. My number one choice if you are on a wild card. I think he is the man that you get in there. Let's have a quick look as well. So far, as you can see, he's had the 6 points there against Forest, the 10 points against Brighton. The other double-digit score come at home to Crystal Palace, where he got 12 points. Phenomenal stuff so far. And then he got the 2 threes. Even in a 3-3 game against Man City, he's come out with 3 points, which can be invaluable, on a game week where, your rest of your defence might concede, midfielders might not get their assists, your strikers don't get their goals. And those extra couple of points can really come in handy, especially when he's conceded 3 goals already. And have a look at these fixtures. There's plenty of green there. He's got Fulham away, Brentford home. That could potentially be 2 clean sheets there. United away, tough one, but again, plenty of saves expected. Everton home, another team that don't score many goals. Spurs away, plenty of saves expected. And it just looks brilliant for Nick Pope if you are on a wild card. That's my top 3 goalkeepers. I think one of the biggest metrics to look at is those save points per game. So just to run it by you again, Jose Sa, 2.6 points per game of save points. Henderson is currently on 3.5 save points per game, and Nick Pope coming out on top with 3.75 points per game. I think if you want to go in terms of the clean sheets, Wolves and Newcastle both aren't conceding many goals. Nottingham Forest will, but you'll get the higher rewards with the save points, penalty save points from Henderson, who's got this phenomenal penalty saving record. So that is my top 3 goalkeepers for the wild card. If you are looking at using it in game week 9, let me know what you think down in the comments. Give this video a like, give me a subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you in the next one. I'm going to do another wildcard video and I'll preview my top 3 defenders. So let me know what you think of these goalkeepers, and I will see you in the next video.